coming up tonight on Primetime Local News.
We all want to go back to work with a fair contract, but the two sides are still hopefully trying to negotiate together.
We get an update on the picket lines in Lloydminster against Canada Post. And Red Bicycle celebrates 10 years in the community. Plus our weekly edition of Beyond the Classroom.
Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The Canada Post strike is now in its fourth week, and an agreement between Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers has yet to be reached. Postal workers are hoping a negotiation is reached in a timely manner so they can return to work and get people's Christmas gifts delivered. The workers say they have been stripped of both their pay and benefits.
We all want to go back to work with a fair contract, but the two sides are still hopefully trying to negotiate together. Some things that they're negotiating on are the weekend is the weekend work. The union is all for working weekends, but we do not want that work gigified.
We just want the public to know too that, again, we've had a lot of positive support. But some of the negative things of when are we getting our parcels, what are we doing, and all of this thing, we just need to remind everyone that we're in this just as much as the public. We use Canada Post, our parcels come from Canada Post, and again, we don't have pay now officially.
Even though postal workers are on strike, letters to Santa Claus can be dropped off in a box at the post office where his elves will collect them and respond to them.
Canada Post Union elves will be doing the letters to Santa. So if you or your little one has a letter to go to Santa, you can bring it to the strike line. We're here 8 a.m. to 12, Monday to Friday, and our union elves will respond to your kids. Just make sure you leave a phone number on the letter so we can make sure that the letter gets back to your children.
Spreading Christmas spirit is all a part of the holiday season. And in this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom, students at Jack Kemp joined the holiday festivities by Christmas caroling at the Lloyd Mall. Jack Kemp students took a trip to the Lloyd Mall, not for shopping purposes, but for caroling, as the school division wanted to make more of an effort to showcase the holiday joy this Christmas season.
We always encourage a sense of belonging and creating a community of learners, and we do that in the schools. It's just so nice to bring that out into the city of Lloydminster, into the public, and they sometimes don't get the chance to do these things, and so establishing that sense of community both in school and out of school is what we want to try to achieve today.
The Lloyd Mall is eager to continue engaging with the community, having caroling bring a positive experience to all those attending the mall.
Just community involvement, being open to having all the community activities, and it was really nice to have them choose us as a place to have an outlet to sing, and our customers and tenants love to see it all.
At the end of the day, the kids are taking the most away from this, bringing joy to Lloyd residents as well as taking away some new favorite Christmas jingles.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, because I like the reindeers.
And that's all for this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom.
This is your classroom. Hands-on learning like you've never seen.
We're about halfway through this week, and it is quite chilly still.
Definitely, and a lot of snow, especially earlier in the day. You'd park the car for maybe even a minute. You come back and the windshield's just right full of snow once again, just blowing around. That wind certainly does not help the snow.
Nope.
No, and that's kind of the combination we've kind of been going through this whole week, is just a lot of snow and wind, and even worse is that ice under the snow. It's kind of your least favorite parts of winter bundled into one But I'm hoping, things will smooth out as we go throughout the week. Right now it's minus 18 in Lloydminster, but that 22-kilometer-an-hour wind is making it feel a little bit closer to minus 28. So nearing that minus 30, you definitely don't want to be outside for too long. A cloudier day out in the border city. And like I said, just a lot of snow. We'll take a look at some temperatures throughout the region. You can see everywhere is kind of about the same, little warmer in Edmonton, minus 10, but St. Paul and Vegreville both minus 14, Wainwright and Provost minus 16, Lac La Biche minus 15, Cold Lake minus 19, Bonnyville minus 17, and St. Paul minus 14. A little bit cooler up in central Saskatchewan there. Isle Cross minus 25, Green Lake minus 20, as well as North Battleford, Meadow Lake minus 21, Pierceland minus 18, St. Walburg and Maidstone both minus 19, and Macklin minus 16. Tonight in North Battleford, it's going to be minus 27, cloudy and very cold. That 17-kilometer-an-hour wind is sure to make that minus 27 feel even colder. Now, tomorrow in North Battleford, it is going to warm up to minus 16, mostly cloudy and very cold, but that wind once again will probably be the killer there. 20-kilometer-an-hour winds. Sorry about that. And in Cold Lake tonight, it's going to be minus 25, cloudy and very cold in Cold Lake. That 13-kilometer-an-hour wind is going to just get up a little bit to 15-kilometer-an-hour tomorrow, and it will be minus 14, cloudy and cold. A little bit of snow in the afternoon, just accumulating to a coating of 1 centimeter. So if there is maybe an icy patch, that snow might cover that up a little bit. You want to be careful, especially when you're out for a walk or you're just walking out to your car even. You don't want to slip. Tonight in Lloydminster, it will be cloudy, very cold, minus 24. Definitely a lot of ice out here in the border city. You want to be careful. And 15-kilometer-an-hour winds. Now, taking a look at tomorrow in Lloydminster, at 6 a.m., it's going to be mostly cloudy and minus 23. It will then warm up 3 degrees to minus 20 at noon, and it will be cloudy. The clouds are going to die down, and it is going to warm up at 6 p.m. Intermittent clouds and minus 16. And then at midnight tomorrow, it will be cloudy, and it will warm up once again to minus 12 at midnight here in the border city. Taking a look at your 3-day forecast on Thursday, it will be very cold with a high of minus 14 and a low of minus 16. Friday going to be even warmer, clouds breaking and cold with that high at minus 11. And Saturday, it's going to be warming up, so we are trending upwards, mostly cloudy, minus 6, and that low is going to be minus 10. So it does look like we are on the right track, hopefully. Fingers crossed. That is your first look at weather. We'll be back with more news after the break.
The 2024 Junior A World Challenge will be taking place in Camrose, Alberta. This year, there will be 2 Bobcats players representing Canada West at the tournament. Our Thomas Wildman has more with the Director of Operations for Canada West.
Today I'm joined by Nigel Dubé, the General Manager of the Lloydminster Bobcats, as well as the Director of Operations for Team Canada West at the World Junior A Hockey Challenge. He's here today to talk about both the World Junior A Challenge as well as an upcoming Bobcats game. And so thank you so much for joining me today, Nigel.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Thomas.
This is your second year as the Director of Operations for Team Canada West. What roles come with that job? And how exciting is it for you to be representing your country once again?
Yeah, it's a great honor for them and very well deserving on the work that they've put in to get to this point. And, for Teague McAllister to be named captain at Canada West, he's a true leader, great kid, and definitely does things the right way on and off the ice. And same with Jack Birch, and being able to play at the international level is an amazing experience and opportunity for them that they'll learn such great things for, and they've worked very hard for it, and it's very cool to see.
And also on Team Canada West this year are Jack Birch and Teague McAllister. Teague McAllister being the captain of the team, both from the Lloydminster Bobcats. So tell me a little bit about how special it is for them to be on the team, especially with them coming from your own organization.
It's a great honor for them and very well deserving on the work that they've put in to get to this point. And, for Teague McAllister to be named captain at Canada West, he's a true leader, great kid, and definitely does things the right way on and off the ice. And same with Jack Birch, and being able to play at the international level is amazing experience and opportunity for them that they'll learn such great things for, and they've worked very hard for it. And it's very cool to see.
And when and where is the tournament taking place?
This year it's a little bit different format than compared to last year. It's down to 4 teams. So you have Team East and West from Canada. Then you have the Swedens, and you also have Team USA. So it's the 4 teams here play throughout the week, and then into the semifinal games on Saturday with the bronze and gold medal game happening on Sunday. So Camrose, Alberta, just down the road from Lloydminster, and then it's also online on HN Live. And great opportunity to watch some international hockey and the best from the West.
And now we'll come back to Lloydminster to talk about the Bobcats' next special game, being the annual Teddy Bear Toss game. It's a game I personally very much look forward to every year, as well as you guys are adding in the sock toss to this. So tell me a little bit about a sock toss and the Teddy Bear Toss game coming up this weekend.
Circle on the calendar, and this year we want to fill a need in our community that we were informed about, and then that was the sock toss. And then once we promote the sock toss, a lot of people still wanted the teddy bear toss. So why not do both of them, right? And we'll collect as many new pairs of socks for the shelters in town, as well as teddy bears. So it's the one that our players are thrilled for. It's one that's become a real staple across all hockey. We see it at every level. The excitement on that first goal being scored, and the opportunity to throw those teddy bears on the ice, and then they'll all be donated back into our community of Lloydminster too as well. But an exciting game. I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully everybody can get their teddy bears and their socks. And if they can't be at the game, they can drop them off at Pure Vibe Studios too as well. Yeah, the game will be on Saturday evening at 7 p.m. at the Centennial Civic Center.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Nigel, and good luck to you and the rest of Team Canada West at the World Junior A Challenge.
Relocation of a household during separation and divorce can prove to be a contentious issue. Stacey Comer has more.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us for another episode of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hankett Divorce Law and Mediation offices in Edmonton and here in Lloydminster. Stephanie, thank you for joining me.
Thanks again for having me, Stacey.
Today, we're going to be talking about relocation. When there's separation and divorce involved, this could be a very contentious issue. So first of all, if a parent wants to move after a divorce or a separation happens, where do they even start?
So the Divorce Act is the legislation for married parents, and the Children's Law Act in Saskatchewan is the legislation for unmarried parents. So that's where we start out, and those two pieces of legislation tell us what needs to be done if you wanted to move. So the first thing that we need to do is to figure out whether that move is going to be called a change of residence or a relocation. So there are two different types of moves that are addressed in the legislation. So a change of residence is technically, it's very broad. It's basically a change of where you're living, irrespective of how far the move is from your current residence. It's just a change from one residence to another. A relocation is defined much more specifically. It's certainly a change of residence, but it goes one step further. So it's when they're likely to have a significant impact on the child's relationship with the left behind parent. So that's what we define as a relocation. So it doesn't necessarily give a certain geographic parameter for that change. It just depends on the existing arrangement. So for example, for one family, a change half an hour down the road might significantly impact the relationship, but because in that situation, the parents are 50-50 parenting. And in others, a 250-kilometer move may not actually impact the relationship much because the other parent only sees the kids on school holidays. So it really depends on the situation.
So once it's determined that there is going to be a change of location, then Stephanie, what happens next?
So if you're a parent who has parenting time or decision-making responsibility, you're required to give a notice of the move, whether it's that change of residence or the relocation. So who do you have to give that notice to? You have to give notice to someone else, so another parent who has either parenting time, decision-making responsibilities, or what's called contact time with a child. So anyone who basically sees the child. So there's different in the type of notice that you need to give. So again, we go to the change of residence and relocation. So for the change of residence, it has to be prior to the move, it needs to be in writing, and it needs to give the date of the move, the new address, and the new contact information. So for the relocation, it has to provide all that same stuff, but there's additional criteria. So the notice actually needs to be provided 60 days ahead of the relocation. And the relocating parent actually needs to also include their proposal for how parenting time and decision-making responsibilities will look after the relocation. And the idea with this is the courts are trying to sort of preempt any disputes that might arise as it relates to the relocation.
But what if somebody does want to object to the move?
So there's differences whether it's change of residence or relocation. So for change of residence, there's no formal objection process. It's more notification. So the parent who's moving is notifying the other parent of that change of residence, and they're not asking permission, they're just notifying. When the move is a relocation, there is a more formal objection process. So the objection or a court application needs to be received by the relocating parent within 30 days of that relocation notice. Then if that happens, if that objection notice is provided, then the relocation will not be able to occur unless there's a court order or, of course, agreement between the parents.
And if they can't settle this themselves, Stephanie, then what is the next step?
So it's always my recommendation to get professional assistance. So whether that's a lawyer or a mediator, if you can't figure it out between yourselves. So certainly in Alberta and Saskatchewan, there are requirements for out-of-court processes like the collaborative process or mediation to try before you end up in court. But ultimately, as you said at the beginning of this, Stacey, there's lots of times where this is a really contentious issue, and you try mediation or the collaborative process and that fails, and you end up having to go to court.
All right, Stephanie. Well, thank you so much. Again, this is one of those things that can either go really smoothly or there's a lot of steps that end up having to happen. So thanks for clearing that up for us, and we will chat with you again next week.
Thanks, Stacey.
TikTok has filed a legal challenge against the federal government over its order to shut down its operations in Canada. The social media giant arguing it is unreasonable and would eliminate hundreds of jobs. In November, the government ordered the dissolution of TikTok's Canadian business, following a security review of the app's Chinese parent company. Users will still be able to access the app. TikTok is asking the court to overturn the order. It's now time to take a look at your adorable animals in our pet picks of the day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Red Bicycle Communications has been in business for 10 years now. Our Jackson Fontaine has more on what they did to celebrate this historic milestone.
I'm here at the Red Bicycle Communications in Lloydminster, joined alongside Jill Kelly, the owner of Red Bicycle Communications. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So just tell me a little bit about the company and what you guys kind of do.
We are a boutique marketing agency that specializes in helping budding entrepreneurs, small businesses, and larger ones kind of hone in on their marketing efforts and talk to their target audience in a very streamlined way.
So just tell me, what is your guys' main goal, like main purpose?
To help businesses grow and to help community impact.
And so you guys are celebrating 10 years, so you did a little bit of a party, somewhat, donating money, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, in January we had a little party here, and we decided that what we wanted to do to make a bigger impact in our community is above and beyond what we normally do for our community, is that we started donating $1,000 to organizations up to $10,000, so that $10,000 for a 10-year kind of mentality.
So what places specifically were these donations to?
We donated to 10 different organizations throughout the community, like the Olive Tree, the Native Friendship Center, the Lloydminster Art Academy through the Public School Division, Border City Connects, North American Chuckwagon Championship. They had all their proceeds go to various organizations throughout our community, which I loved. The Min Shelter, the Thorpe Recovery Center, Lakeland College, Spark Foundation, formerly the Lloydminster Interval Home Society, and our last one was to Border Paws Animal Society.
And why did you guys decide to pick these ones?
Each organization just meant a lot to all of our staff members, and we kind of put them all up. We had a good discussion around it, and then we kind of chose ones that meant something to us, that made a big impact.
So you guys have been running for 10 years. What would you say is the main contributor for you guys being able to run this long?
Stubbornness, and to just keep going. Every day is not going to be great. I advise all of our businesses that we work with them too on this, is that you have to keep going even when it's not fun or not a good day or not a good quarter or whatever. Yeah, it's stubbornness.
And final question I have for you, what would you say, why is it important to have an organization like this in Lloyd?
I think we work really hard to help different organizations level up, and my biggest thing is the ripple effect from that. So if you had a business and you're just thinking about the idea and then you started putting that into practice, not only do we help you get there and help you market to your appropriate audience, maximizing your marketing dollars, but what it does is it allows you to grow so that you can hire employees, that you can expand your reach, build your business, grow it, which then in turn brings more community impact. And so we work with a lot of organizations that one of their mandates is to give back to the community through more than just employment, which is fabulous, but through different sponsorships or volunteerism. And so we just love that ripple effect.
Well, I look forward to hearing more from the Red Bicycle Communications in 2025 and the near future. Thanks for taking the time to do this.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, our Lane Hoffert will have an extended look at our evening weather forecast.
Welcome back. Let's take one last look here at your evening weather. Right now in Lloydminster, you can see it's snowing a bit, minus 18, but that 20-kilometer-an-hour wind is making it feel closer to minus 28. You definitely, if you're going outside, you want a pair of gloves on, you want a jacket and a toque, maybe even you want to look fancy, maybe wear a scarf as well. It's one of those days. You can see out west, though, it's actually quite a bit warmer. In Edson, it's 0, as well as Jasper and Rocky Mountain House. Whitecourt, minus 8, Athabasca, minus 13, Edmonton, minus 10, and Red Deer, minus 1. Cold Lake, minus 19. Saskatchewan is where we really get to see those colder temperatures. Melfort, minus 28. Prince Albert, minus 26. Meadow Lake, minus 22. North Battleford, minus 20. And Saskatoon, minus 22. Approaching minus 30 there in Uranium City. Stony Rapids, minus 36. South End Reindeer, minus 30. Wollaston Lake and Flin Flon, both minus 27. And La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, both minus 25. Fort Chipewyan, minus 25. Fort McMurray, minus 22. Peace River, minus 10. Grand Prairie, minus 8. Slave Lake, minus 12. And High Level, minus 17. Now over in southern Alberta, it is warm. Calgary, plus 1. Lethbridge, minus 1. Banff, minus 2. Coronation, minus 14. Medicine Hat, minus 8. And then over in Saskatchewan, there must just be all that cold sticking. It stops right at the border. Kindersley -17, Swift Current -15, Moose Jaw -19, Yorkton -28, Regina -21, and Estevan -20. Definitely some cold days out in Saskatchewan. North Battleford, no exception there, at -27 tonight. Cloudy and very cold. 17-kilometer-an-hour winds, definitely adding to that cold temperature. Cold Lake telling much of the same story. Cloudy and very cold, slightly warmer at -25, but that 13-kilometer-an-hour wind is sure to make it so that there's not much difference between the two areas. Now tonight in the border city, -24. Once again, cloudy and very cold, and that wind will die down from what it is now. It's going to be 15-kilometer-an-hour instead of 20-kilometer-an-hour winds. So definitely the whole region is experiencing about those same temperatures for tonight. Now, taking a look at your travel forecast, you can see, it varies. Meadow Lake -27, mainly clear and very cold. Not a lot of clouds. Bonnyville, however, is cloudy and -18. Provost, cloudy and -17. Then Isle La Crosse is partly cloudy and very cold. It's got -28 temperatures, though the wind is not quite as prominent as it is in Bonnyville and Provost. Paradise Hill, that wind is 13 kilometers an hour, and -27 is the temperature, and it is cloudy and very cold, much like Bonnyville and Provost with those clouds, and much like Isle La Crosse and Meadow Lake with that temperature. Now taking a look at some more regions here, Murnum is -16 and cloudy. Pierceland -27, partly cloudy and very cold. Unity -24, a little snow mainly later in the night. Wainwright cloudy and -17. Calgary cloudy once again, but only -10. You can see that wind probably makes the difference, with Wainwright having 15-kilometer-an-hour winds and Calgary only getting 7. Now taking a look at your 7-day forecast. Thursday, tomorrow, will be very cold. -14 is the high. It's only going to get down to -16, so a relatively good December day. Friday, those clouds are breaking and cold. -11 is the high with -14 as the low. And then we get to the highlight there. We got a nice warm weekend ahead. Saturday, mostly cloudy and -6. And Sunday, cloudy, breezy in the afternoon and -8 before we kind of head back to those weak temperatures. So I guess, during the work week, colder, but we do get a warmer weekend up ahead there.
I think the main takeaway from your weather there was the disparity between Saskatchewan and Alberta. Just very cold in Saskatchewan, a lot warmer in Alberta.
Oh, definitely. Must be that wind, that Saskatchewan wind. Manitoba sucks and Alberta blows, and Saskatchewan, unfortunately, feels the brunt of that most of the time.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. That is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.